Hi, everyone, and welcome back to What's Your Skincare Routine with Leora Luciano. I'm your host, Leora, and welcome to part one of my four-part Reset and Manifest 2026 series. This first episode is all about preparation. Before we even think about vision boards or manifestation, we're going to audit 2025. What worked, what didn't, what you're proud of, and what you're leaving behind in 2025. We're going to start defining the main pillars of your 2026. By the end of this episode, you'll have a mini life wrapped for 2025. Think of it as your own personal Spotify wrapped, a keep and leave list, and your core focus areas for 2026. So grab a notebook, your notes app, your iPad, whatever you use, because I want this to be reflective, but also active and maybe even a little interactive. So let's get ready. Most people jump straight into vision boards. They open Pinterest and Canva and they start dragging in all the aesthetic pictures. And then by March, their board is buried in their camera roll and nothing has really changed for them. The reason is, if you don't understand what actually happened this year, your vision board turns into a collage of vibes instead of a strategy. And vibes are great for creating mood boards, aesthetic style, personal style, branding. But today is about saying, this is what moved me forward in 2025. This is also what drained me. And now this is what I'm intentionally taking with me into 2026. So even if you feel like you didn't accomplish anything, I want you to hear this. The fact that you're here reflecting and listening is already more than most people do. Reflection itself is an accomplishment. So take a break, get comfortable, and let's start with what worked. For the first section, we're covering your 2025 receipts. I want you to think about a few different areas of your life: money and spending, wellness and habits, career or school if you're still a student, relationships and community, home and environment. For each of these, ask yourself, where did money actually improve my life this year? Maybe it was paying off a car or debt, investing in your education, paying for an experience or a trip, or doing something big for someone you love. Those count as wins. Those are your receipts. What habits helped me, even if I did them inconsistently? That could be getting into the gym sometimes, walking more, going to therapy, drinking more water, cooking at home a little more, or protecting your sleep. In my work life or school life, where did I show up? Did you take initiative and start a project? Did you launch a podcast? Maybe you submit an application or finished a class, course, or got a certification. Which relationships felt like a win? Was it getting closer to a friend, spending more time with family, meeting new people, or setting better boundaries? Go ahead and pause if you need to. Now it's your turn. Write down at least 5 wins from 2025, big or tiny. It can be, I survived a tough season. I finally reached out to a company that I want to work with or for. I paid my bills on time all year long. Once you have your list, I want you to star, heart, or circle the ones you'd love to repeat and build on in 2026. You can take a pause here and complete that. And when you're ready, come back and we'll move forward. Okay, now we're going to do something fun. This is like your personal Spotify wrap for your life. We're so used to seeing our top artists and songs at the end of the year. This is that, but for your energy and your effort. Because sometimes it's hard to see your wins. Sometimes it's hard to see your wins because they live in your data, and maybe you're not looking at that often enough. Sometimes it's hard to see your wins because they live in your data and you've never looked at it. So let's pull your receipts from a few places. Open up your camera roll and scroll through this year. What were you actually doing? Where did you travel? What events did you attend? Were you working out? Were you taking random sunset or sunrise photos on your walk? Were you taking screenshots of notes and ideas that you have? If you have an Apple Watch, Fitbit, or a Whoop, or any wellness app, look at your step counts, your workouts, or even your sleep trends. Even if it wasn't perfect, there might be more movement and effort than you gave yourself credit for. Next, peek at your calendar or your planner and look at the appointments you made it to, the classes you attended, the trips you took, the launches or events that you put on your schedule and attended. Next, check any streaks in your favorite apps, whether it's a meditation app, language learning, fitness, reading. Even if your streaks broke, you started, and that matters. So think about it this way. Maybe your top artist was on repeat every time you went on a walk. Maybe you joined a challenge and forgot about it. Maybe your calendar is full of appointments that you kept. That's all evidence that you showed up more than you think. And here's something really important. Starting something and then deciding this isn't aligned for me anymore is still growth. Quitting the wrong thing can be just as powerful as starting the right thing. You're allowed to give yourself credit for that too. You're allowed to give yourself credit for that. Even if you feel like you didn't finish anything big, the fact that you're reflecting and learning from it, that's an accomplishment too. Okay, so here's a prompt for your next action. From everything you just saw in your camera roll, your apps, your trackers, your calendar, I want you to write 5 sentences that start with, I am proud of myself for. Here are some examples. I am proud of myself for paying that bill every month. I'm proud of myself for leaving that job or situation. I'm proud of myself for going to that class alone. I'm proud of myself for resting when I needed to. Pause this, write your 5, and then come back. Okay, now let's talk about the L's and the lessons. Gently. This is not about beating yourself up or collecting proof that you've fallen behind. This is about getting honest data so that you can make better choices in 2026. Ask yourself, where did my money leak this year? Was it impulse shopping, overbuying, beauty or clothes, apps, or subscriptions I've never even used? Ordering takeout every time I was stressed. Where did my time leak? Doom scrolling, staying in group chats that drained me, staying in group chats or conversations that drained you, committing to things that you didn't want to do, watching other people live your dream instead of taking small actions. Which habits made me feel worse? Staying up too late, skipping movement, not eating until 3 p.m., being on my phone from the moment I wake up until I fall asleep. What goals did I chase that weren't actually mine anymore? Maybe something you thought you wanted, but when you got closer, it no longer felt aligned. Here's your prompt. Write down 3 L's or not it moments from 2025. And next to each one, write one lesson. For example, I overshopped and barely used half of what I bought. Lesson, I actually feel better when I spend on experiences and save. I burned out on a project. Lesson, I need to build in more rest and realistic timelines, not just grind. I stayed too long in a situation that was draining. Lesson, I can trust myself to leave sooner next time. These lessons are not punishments. They're instructions for how to build a better year. Okay, pause so you can write everything out and come back when you're ready. Now we're going to turn everything you wrote into one simple, powerful decision. What comes with you into 2026 and what stays in 2025? On your page, draw a line down the middle and label one side keep and the other side leave. In keep, I want you to put habits that supported you, whether it's therapy, journaling, moving your body, morning routines, a habit jar, time with people you love, all of the positivity, ways you used your money that actually made your life better, paying down debt, investing in growth, trips, experiences that changed you, or even boundaries you're proud of, career moves you've made, any identity shift that feels like expansion. In the leave column, I want you to put money patterns that didn't feel good, impulse buys, comfort shopping, that just left you numb, subscriptions you don't use, time and energy drains, people pleasing, overworking, staying in spaces that felt toxic, habits that leave you anxious or exhausted, old versions of you that you're ready to release, goals that no longer fit, standards that were too low, beliefs that you can't have what you want. The prompt for this is write at least 5 things under keep and write 5 things under leave. If it feels good, say this out loud. I'm choosing to keep and read your keep list. I'm choosing to leave and read your leave list. You are allowed to decide that some things are not coming with you into the new year. Now that we've looked back, let's look forward. We're going to define your 2026 pillars. Think of pillars as the main categories your 2026 life stands on. These are going to be the sections of your vision board and also how you organize your goals. I'm going to give you a menu. You don't need to pick all of them. Pick 4 to 6 that matter most to you and what you want to focus on in the new year. Wellness, your body, health, energy, mindset, and spiritual, your mental health, inner work, and spiritual practices. Money, saving, debt, income, spending intentionally. Career, this is your job, your business, or your studies. Relationships and community, this can include romantic, relationships, friendships, family, and networking. Home and environment, moving, decorating, decluttering, feeling grounded where you live. You can also rename them to fit your life. For me, I might use creative expression instead of career. Maybe it's creative expression instead of career, or adventure and travel instead of home. Here's your prompt. Pick 4 to 6 pillars that feel most important for your 2026. Write them down as headings. Now, under each pillar, I want you to write one sentence about how you want to feel in that area next year. Not a number, not a metric, feeling. I'm going to give you some examples. Here are some examples for wellness. I feel energized, strong, and steady in my body. Mindset. I feel calmer, more grounded, not constantly in fight or flight. Money. I feel secure and in control, not panicked. Career. I feel creatively fulfilled and fairly paid. Relationships. I feel supported, loved, and seen. Home. I feel cozy, organized, and proud of my space. These feeling sentences are going to be what guide your goals and your vision board images in the next episodes. We're building from the inside out. So let's pause here, complete that, and come back when you're done. Great. Before we wrap, I want to plant one little seed for later in this series. A full year is a long time. If you only check in on your goals once in December, it's very easy for your vision board to become something you only look at for the first 2 weeks of January, and then it just kind of evaporates the rest of the year. So in this series, we're going to break 2026 into quarters. Q1 is your winter arc. This is prep, reset, and foundational habits. Q2 is your spring, locking in habits and starting to see momentum. Q3 is the summer. This is for execution and going bigger. And Q4 is your fall, winter. This is where your maintenance and harvest happen. And the re-audit, what we're doing right now. You don't need to plan each quarter yet. That's coming later. For now, I want you to take out your calendar, your phone, and create 4 reminders at the end of March, June, September, and December. Label them quarterly check-in with my vision board. The specific dates don't matter, but getting them on your calendar is really important. These dates are going to be your future self saying, hey, let's readjust and not abandon, so you can really build towards those goals that we're setting. So you can really build towards those intentions and those goals that you set. Okay, you did a lot today. In this episode, you pulled your 2025 receipts, your wins, and the quiet things you never gave yourself credit for. Created your own Spotify Wrapped using your camera roll, your trackers, and your calendar. You named your L's and turned them into lessons and decided what you're keeping and what you're leaving in 2025 and chose your pillars and how you want 2026 to feel. This is your foundation. Everything else we do, the vision boards, manifestations, the habits, smart, all of it. In part 2, we're staying in preparation mode. We're going to talk about the most common vision board mistakes and how to avoid them. How to turn these pillars into clear, realistic goals without overwhelming yourself. And how to choose images and words that you emotionally connect with, not just the aesthetic photos from the internet. Then, in later episodes, we'll build your physical and digital boards and talk about how to check in every quarter so your vision board actually becomes receipts in 2026. Thank you for doing this work with me. If you try this audit, tag me, send me a screenshot of your keep, leave list, or your pillars. I would love to see what you're building in 2026. And until next time, stay glowing.